In this video, we'll explore the features of Firebug, a free plugin for Firefox. This plugin has many capabilities, but the ones that we're interested in are those that apply to working with HTML and CSS. Once Firebug is installed in Firefox, it'll appear as an option on your Tools menu. So now, when I click the Tools menu and choose Firebug, you can see many capabilities and features. We're just going to open Firebug and not get too concerned with those more advanced settings that you see. When I click Open Firebug, the bottom half of the page is given over to the Firebug control console. At its default setting, the left-hand side shows the HTML of the page, and the right-hand side shows the CSS in the page. There's a capability in this panel to move your mouse around the page and see the HTML and CSS that's defined in that page itself. Pretty nice little feature. So if I click this icon here on the left, what happens now is the page is changed to be more static, so you can't click a link and navigate anywhere else while this mode's in effect. That sort of thing won't work because it's given over to just being hot clickable, and now you can actually do such cool things as to click on a part of this page and then change the underlying HTML and CSS to see the differences. I'm not going to demonstrate that right now because I really just want to show you what's happening beneath the scenes in HTML and CSS. This entire page is governed by an external CSS style sheet called stylesheet.css. So I'm going to click this element just to lock this sheet on the right. But if you can see here, all that's in that style sheet is just a body setting. That means that the entire body of the page gets these attributes: a blue color, a small font size, italic style. The only way to change those settings is to override them at the page level. The first place you can do that is in the heading area of the page. So I'm going to re-enable my ability to interact with the content. And this second sentence here, it's red and it's not italic, but the font size is the same. The way that that was achieved, if you can see on the HTML panel on the left, was to define a CSS class called red sentence. This class resides in the head section of the HTML of the page. So any element on the page itself that references red sentence will inherit that look and feel. So we now have our CSS file defining the whole page. We have our red sentence CSS class defining any element that is associated with it. The third way that we can use CSS on the page, so we can even override that element style if we'd like, is to apply inline CSS attributes. So I'm going to activate my little feature again, click on this text, and beneath you can see that it's a P element with a span element wrapping the text itself. The span element has a style defined as font size equals larger. So what's happening with that text is it's pulling the settings out of the external style sheet to be blue, italic, and smaller, but the smaller size is overridden by the inline setting to make the font size larger. So we actually have the external style sheet as well as the inline style affecting the same text. Now, a tool like this one has its place in a learning environment, but as far as troubleshooting down the road, hopefully it can help you a great deal. I myself have had several situations where complex web pages reference either several different external style sheets or have multiple settings applied in different places, and the only real way to unravel which settings were causing what effects was to turn on a tool like this one and navigate around the page in that interactive